Mitch, the Carney, baby. Good to see you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
So thanks for coming on, dude. So we just want to learn about carnies and carnival employees, fairs, everything like it. What is carny an appropriate term?
Yeah, I was born and raised a carny.
Really?
My grandparents were carnies. My parents were carnies. My brother and his kids are carnies.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess I'm just curious, like, so what is a carny? What is the term?
So a carnival, carnival worker.
Okay.
I guess is where it came from. And so that's what we are. And I know there's all different versions. I know people sometimes think of like somebody that just got out of prison, covered in tattoos, smelling like cabbage, missing a couple fingers, and they think that's a carny that's working the ride or something like that.
Oh yeah, that Irish deodorant.
Yeah,
baby.
And we carnies don't call them carnies. We call them like 40 milers or green help or something like that. Because like a 40 miler, he's just trying to get onto the road and get 40 miles down the street to the next lot, so he can get out of whatever situation he was in when he joined the carnival.
Okay, so there's different types. So you have actual carnies that are like they've been in there for a while.
Yeah, like their families are out there. They have kids. They raise their kids out there.
And then you got 40 milers.
Yeah, we call them 40 milers.
And those are guys that are just kind of like maybe just got out of doing some time and they're just trying to
get a job and get out of town.
Yep. Just trying to get their feet, just something.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times the carnival will hire folks like that just because they need like a lot of
help. It's tough to find help out there.
Yeah.
People that want to travel and just be out there every day and, living at the carnival.
Yeah.
And you're in a different town every week and, you don't get much time off. So it's wild.
Did you guys call regular people civilians? What did y'all call them?
Marks.
Yeah. God.
And
so everybody that walked through, it was like, how much can we got to get it out of them?
Yeah, we got to get that mark. And if you got one, you'd call it out. Like, you got a fresh one, you got a mark here. And a lot of people would wear these pins called I Love Robin Marks, but it would be spelled out like Robin, R-O-B-I-N, and then Marks underneath it. So it looked like somebody's name.
Who was Robin Marks?
I was Robin Marks.
I got it. And so what's the difference between a carnival and a fair? Because we had the fair would come a lot, right?
Yeah, so the fair is just
the same thing?
Yeah, it's basically, except the fair is they have like the animals and everything like that. Like you have the whole agricultural part of it, and sometimes they'll have like demolition derbies and, and all that, and like the races and all the agricultural, like the pigs
they
and
had
the cows.
definitely, yeah. Did you guys ever have beef? Was there like a lot of like beef
really,
between carnies and the livestock
The beef was
people?
in the carnivals, between the carnival.
Wow.
Like, so during the spring when we're doing just carnivals, we would split up into like 3 different sections. So you could do 3 cities at the same time. But then when we got to the fairs, we would all get together and then the fights would break out.
Wow.
Oh yeah, like crazy fights.
So what was a lot of the beef between the people, the workers?
Oh, I'm a first unit. No, you're just a lonely guy from the 3rd unit. Like, you shouldn't be over here, like with us or partying with us or hanging, they kind of look down on you. Like, it's just like anything else. The 1st unit got all the big rides and the nice stuff. And then the 2nd unit was kind of stepped down.
Oh, yeah.
And then the 3rd unit was like, they got all the shit, all the bad rides, all the bad stuff. So whenever they all teamed up, there was all these beefs going on, like,
Territorial stuff. Yeah, yeah. Huh. What kind of like groups are at the carnival at the?
Yeah, we definitely say separated.
Okay, what kind of groups are at the carnival? Like, are there? Because there's the games, right? There are
the joinies.
What is it?
We call them joinies.
Joinies.
Yep.
And what is that?
The joints. Because the trailers we call them joints.
Okay.
And so they work the joints.
Okay. So they work the games. Those are the joints.
Yep.
And then there's the food.
Yep. And then the concessions.
And then there's
you got the ride jocks.
Ride jocks.
Yep.
And are those groups kind of like they keep to their own a little bit or what?
Yeah, for the most part. The joinies and concessions will mingle. And, I mingled with everybody, just I knew everybody. But, a lot of times some of the ride guys would mingle with some of the concessions a little bit. And, they would mingle a little bit. But for the most part, they were with their own crews,
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew everybody. They all looked out for me. I was like, oh, it's little Mitch. Like, I knew it because I was running around as a little kid. So everybody, knew
And
who
then
I
would
was.
copy a little bit of drugs or something sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild.
Was there drug use out there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And what were the drugs really? What were some of it? I mean, weed, yeah.
Oh, of course, weed, alcohol. I mean, especially, when we were at the fairs, you're open for so long. Like, you close at 11 at night. You got to open 11 in the morning. So we're crushing beers as fast as we can once we close to get as drunk and as fucked up as fast as we can.
To go to sleep. Or just
if
have
we
fun.
could. Yeah, just have fun.
And were people doing drugs too? Like, what kind of uppers are we talking? Cocaine?
Oh, yeah.
Probably?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, plenty of cocaine.
Fuck yeah.
I'll tell you, just to step up though, they have
Yeah.
straightened out these days. They drug test and all that shit now. But
bro, if you drug test the guy who's working the fair ride for me, get fucked.
you want a good ride or not?
I want a real
Yeah,
ride
yeah.
from a real drug-using American. That's what I want.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, it was fun. We used to throw a lot of after parties in that Gravitron.
In the Gravitron.
Yeah.
Yeah, take me through some of that. Like, and is it men and women come too or no?
Yeah, I mean, we had some girls out there working for sure.
Yeah.
Some of the guys were definitely better looking.
Yeah.
But we had some ratchets up in there. I mean, if you're gonna work a ride and travel the carnival, and
Especially if it was 20, 30 years ago.
yeah, it was.
You got to be a tough chick.
You sure do. And like there was some of them. I mean, this one girl's, they had crazy. This girl had bust a nut on me, tattooed on her ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Head hoe was another one tattooed on her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these girls, some of them had the lot lizards tattooed on their feet.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So it was women that were probably just doing their best out there that had been through a lot, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you got good ones too. I'm not gonna lie.
Bust a nut on me is a lot.
That was pretty rough.
Well, it's
I felt like it
when?
was. Yeah, I thought it was sexual harassment every time she walked past me. I was like, she wasn't good looking.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's not saying marry me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, take me through like a good party night out there.
Oh, well, the party nights like in the Gravitron, yeah, because they had the sound system in there already.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the walls, so you can get in there and like, really be able to party and get loud and not bother too many of the bosses. Because, the bosses still stayed out there in their trailers too, so you didn't want to wake them up in the middle of the night and have them come out. You're like, where's everybody? Get in here, bunkhouse, everybody. We open in 3 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And what was the sleeping quarters like?
So, I mean, to be honest with you, my family didn't care where I slept at that point. Like I was 13, 14, just sleeping wherever.
Wow.
Yeah, mostly in games. I'd sleep in the game at night, one of the games.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty wild. Yeah, it was. I mean, I've even slept, wherever sometimes, especially when you're going over the road, like everything's torn down, you got no place to go, you're waiting for your ride. Like I passed out in the generator box before, just waiting.
And what is that? Just the electrical thing?
Yeah, the giant generators that run everything.
Yeah.
And because everything's packed up and that thing's always open, you got a nice cozy pile of wires you could crawl up on like a cat and pass out for a little bit.
Yeah. And it's kind of romantic almost.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, for the most part, when we got a little older,
Yeah, were there bunks? So like, where did everybody sleep?
So they had bunks. The ride guys had bunks.
Okay. So
So
the
the ride
ride
guys,
operators had bunks.
Yeah, they would put most of those guys up in bunks.
And were they like a trailer? Like what type of bunks?
Yeah, it was just a giant trailer. They would buy they almost looked like one of the, like an 18-wheeler trailer, and they would just turn it into bunk rooms. They would just chop it all up.
Okay.
Some of them, they had some that were built professionally as house trailers. They had those ones too. And it was pretty tough because it was like 2 bunk beds and, you're in there with, and it was times like a closet with just 2 beds.
Yeah.
And, that's where they had the ride guy, the games and the joinies were on their own, unless,
What do you mean on their own? Like people would sleep in sleeping bags or people would stay at motels or what?
yeah, wherever you could. Like if you made enough money to get a motel, you get a motel. If you didn't, you didn't. You'd sleep in a tent or like there was at a point after I stopped staying in the games when I was younger, I ended up bringing a couple of my friends out on the road with me. And so as soon as high school was done for the summer, we'd go out on the road until, school started back up. And so I'd bring a couple of friends with me out there, Doogie, Jay, and we'd set up like our own tent city away from everybody so we could party and not bother anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have a nice campfire. We even brought in, we used to travel with a lizard with us too. We always brought him with us. We had a nice little cage for him and he was our little buddy. And we'd set him up. Yeah, and we just drink. We had all our tents and nice fire going and we'd party out there.
Couple men and a lizard, bro. It's like the Bible. Like whatever the new Bible they'll write will be.
Yeah, the Carney Bible.
Yeah, huh?
I mean, there was one crazy party we were all partying. It was like the beginning of the year. It was like the second or third carnival. So we were all like warmed up now. We're like, all right, this is one, because you'd have parties where everybody would party together. Like the ride guys, everybody, food joints, even some of the owners, you know what I mean? Some of the parties once in a while. And so this was like a beginning of the year, like let's have a welcome home party. Everybody's in. And so we're partying all throughout the carnival. Like we're on the Sea Dragon and you can unlock the Sea Dragon and get it swinging manually. You just get a couple of kids on each side swinging it one way and and you can get it going. And so we were partying up on we were partying up on the Sea Dragon late one night. And there was a new guy that I guess the ride super didn't like. He had just started.
Oh, yeah.
And he passed out drunk in his car and he was driving like this brand new white Escort or something like that, nice and white.
Pretty nice, yeah.
But it was a small car, cheap car, but it was new. And the ride super really didn't like him. and he was passed out drunk in his car, right on the side of this on a Sea Dragon, and we're up in the top seat, just sitting up there having a couple of drinks, putting him back.
And what they do? They set him on fire.
All of us, well, not quite. All of a sudden, the ride super goes over to his house trailer, and he opens up he gets a 5-gallon bucket, and he opens up his shitter drain, his tank, and he fills up the 5-gallon bucket with all the shit water. And he goes over and he dumps it on the guy's car. And nothing, the guy doesn't wake up, nothing. So he keeps doing it over and over again until he dumped his whole tank onto this dude's car. And he just slept through the night like that all day. And we're laughing hysterically about this.
But it's outside of the car, right?
It's outside of the car. It's on his car, but on the outside. So it's just covered now and just everything. And that night I didn't see him, but the next spot, I remember I'm walking by and he's outside and he's trying to scrub it all off, and it's just got this brown tint, and you could see where it like swirled all around. Like he could not get that thing clean for the life of him. He didn't last another week.
He didn't?
No.
Yeah. So take me on some of the other periphery characters that were part of the carnival.
Yeah, the dunk tank clown guy was. I mean, you have to have a really special guy to be up there and really like be able to like go at people all day, get them pissed off enough to like spend their life savings trying to knock you into a pool of water.
Like what kind of stuff is he saying?
He's just saying like, I slept with your wife last night. Like, you know,
your brother's an N-word or whatever.
Yeah, you know, and he would have to sometimes he would have to have cops protect him when he closed, like to walk him to his, you know, get him off the lot because people wanted to kick his ass. I mean, I've seen people, you know, beat him, like not beat him up, but go after him if he didn't have protection, you know, because not all the time, you know, at the fairs you had cops around, but you wouldn't always have cops at the carnivals and stuff, and he would really get people going. Like they're not even trying to dunk them, they're trying to throw the ball through the fence, like they're smashing that fence with the ball.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So that guy had to have some real cojones or just be not even mentally that great or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild. He would, he would get into some serious shit.
Yeah.
A lot of beefs. You don't see him anymore.
What would they yell? So they would just like, yeah,
I was with your sister's mother last night. Oh, I was with your daughter last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With
like,
your daughter, and the guy's saying his daughter's 11 or whatever. Like,
they don't care.
Fuck?
That's what I'm saying. These guys were getting mad.
The dude's just yelling.
Like, I slept with your 11-year-old daughter last night. What are you going to do about it?
Jesus. Yeah, the dude's just like, hey, I'm a pedophile. He thinks he's protected by fucking 40 gallons
This dude's
of
just
water.
like walking by with his kid, doesn't even know. All of a sudden the guy's like, what? What did you say?
What's some of the wildest, like, was there some pretty good, like, sex activity going on out there? Because everybody always thinks, I think there's this vibe you think about, like, carnies, like the ride shut down and then the party starts. You know? Like, I think that's what the energy you feel like happens, you know?
Yeah, like I said, you get those car full of girls show up. Like,
yeah.
One of those girls that showed up, the head ho tattoo I was telling you about, that was one of the girls that, she wasn't even an employee. She was one of the girls that showed up looking to party.
It said bust a nut on me?
No, this one said head ho.
Head ho on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just the advertising that they have, that's wild to me. Usually you don't know. Like a girl's tattoo will be like a secret, you know?
Yeah.
Like like, you know, like love is forever or whatever. And you're like, well, shit, I'm going to have to decipher this, you know? But if somebody's just like bust a nut on me or whatever, it's like, well, it's just like not as much guesswork, I guess, but yeah.
And it'd be crazy. I mean, the girls like to party just as much as the guys. So, you know, there would be a lot of crazy stuff going down, you know, looking to party, looking to get down. And yeah, I've seen some stuff. I mean, there's, you know, I've seen some stuff. A friend of mine, like, this chick really wanted to get down with a couple friends of mine, so he breaks into somebody's house trailer that we had never, I don't know whose trailer it was. He climbs through the window.
Goldilocking, huh?
The next thing I know, he's kicking the door open, and the door comes flying open. We're all standing outside, and we're like, well, how the hell? What's going on? He's like, we got a spot now. Let's go. And he brings her in there, and right on somebody's bed. I don't know whose bed, because they had the couch pulled out. So the door's wide open. He's going to town right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just making love, huh?
I don't know when you call it love, but there was something going on.
Yeah. Making almost love.
God. Yeah.
Any love stories over the years you see where carnies met each other? And
yeah, I mean, back in the day, that's the only place I really met. I mean, my friend April, who I was with for, you know, almost 10 years or something. We were 16, 17 when we hooked up.
Y'all met at a carnival?
Yeah, she worked for somebody, and I was working out there, and she worked for a friend of mine, another family.
Let me dart that balloon, huh?
Yeah, she was actually pregnant when we hooked up already, too. And,
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that seems
illegal.
Crazy. That's crazy in the eyes of God, but I don't know.
And we're still friends. Raekwon, her son, works for me now.
Oh, yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, her son works for me. Like,
really?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's love, man. Yeah, well, that's
we're still best friends, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're not together, obviously, but yeah, we're best friends still. And
damn.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride, man. It's definitely been interesting, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It's taught me a lot. and it got me. Yeah, it got me. I mean, it's where I am today. It got me here to meet you.
Yeah,
it got
man,
me,
it got
like,
me here to meet you.
And I'm the job I have now, like selling food out there, is they treat me like a rock star out there, and I'm not gonna lie, like they really do, and I have to give a shout out to all my nieces and nephews out there in the world that really like support me and take care of me, and out there, like they really love Uncle Mitch's Munchies, home of the turtle dick sandwich.
Really?
Yep.
And it's real meat?
Yeah, turtle dick sandwich. There's only 2 places in the country that could sell it.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
It's endangered. It's got to be endangered or whatever?
Yeah, so we do it, you know, now we go get, we